Hi, Fun Size Fan Club. Jessica here, representing BibRave once again, after having completed the Hot Chocolate 15K in Atlanta this morning. This was the third year that I've been able to run Hot Chocolate as part of being a BibRave Pro. I actually didn't run it last year, but I ran it 2016 and 2017. And for those of you that kind of know me, you probably know that I'm not a huge fan of themed for-profit races. There's not really a good reason for that. I generally think there's a lot of nonprofit races that do an amazing job and offer a lot of the same things that some kind of themed races do. But, you know, when I was given the chance a couple of years ago to run Hot Chocolate in Atlanta, I thought, well, it would be a good opportunity to kind of see something else. Also, I respect the fact that a lot of these kind of fun themed races are the reason why many people have started running. They've given people the encouragement to kind of complete something. It gets people excited. It's just like a little bit extra kind of swag or reason to kind of get out there. And I can't hate on that at all. I mean, that's so important. So whatever gets people out being healthy and active, I'm totally fine with that. So that kind of got me to the start line in 2016, and surprisingly, I actually enjoyed it. You can read kind of my previous blog posts from the other years. The first year, there were definitely things that could have been improved, and actually the second time I did it, a lot of the things that I didn't like the first year had definitely been improved. And then after taking a break last year, coming back this year for the third time, I think it's my third time and maybe the seventh time the race has been in Atlanta. I still think like it's one of the most consistent races I've ever done. And there's always like just little things that improve or I kind of notice that are better each year. And so I actually really like it. And it kind of comes at a good time, usually in the spring training cycle. So I will probably plan to run this race whenever I can. Now, I did say consistent. That goes for kind of race management and how the race is produced. That doesn't go for the fact that for whatever reason, this race has awful luck with weather. That's really just Georgia and Atlanta weather in February is kind of a crapshoot. Side note, that bodes really well for the 2020 Olympic trials that are here next year in February, although that's the end of the month. So maybe that'll be better. You never know. But it's just kind of a side note. Anyway, this year, a couple things that I really enjoyed. First of all, I'm not sure if this was the case last year, but this year the expo was moved from the World Congress Center to the Hyatt Regency on Peachtree Street. I really, really like this. The Georgia World Congress Center is huge. If you take public transit, you still have to walk like a really good ways just to get to my dog's trying to get in the office, just to get to the first building, let alone usually the Hot Chocolate Expo has of course been in like the furthest building you have to walk to, which is kind of annoying. And there's usually a ton of other events you have to kind of weave your way through. So it just kind of was big. The expo itself, you know, to me didn't really fill the space well. It would be crowded. You would have to wait in line to get your bib. And so just was probably the least well organized part of the race in previous years. And this year at the Hyatt, I thought it wasn't really big, which for me I actually enjoy, but it was just really well placed. The Hyatt is directly outside of the MARTA transit station. So you don't even have to walk outside. You come out of MARTA, you walk through the Peachtree Center Mall, and it connects through a bridge right to the hotel. So it's really convenient. And you just there were plenty of people directing you downstairs to the ballroom where the expo is at. Again, for me, it was a smaller expo, but I'm not a huge expo person. They kind of give me anxiety. So it had everything I needed. Packet pickup was extremely fast. You get a QR code, like in an email, and you just kind of show it to them, they scan it, and they hand you your bib. It's immediate. You go to the next table inside, you get your jacket, And the really nice thing is that you can try on your jacket there and you can trade it immediately if you want a different size or different color. So that's really convenient. And then they had, you know, kind of Noon was there, who's one of the sponsors. They had, you know, a couple different snack companies. They had one of the running stores with everything you needed, and a couple other local kind of booths. So pretty much whatever you need for a 5K or 15K. So kind of low key, not crazy, exactly what's needed, in and out. It was great. I loved it. If you're a huge expo junkie, that you might think this is a negative, but for me, I'm like all about it. Again, the race start and finish was at Centennial Park. I actually don't think it was there last year because it's been under construction for a while, but I could be wrong. The awesome thing about Centennial Park is that there's a couple of places in the park that have nice like indoor restrooms. There's a Starbucks right around the block on the corner in one of the hotels if you so choose. And then the race is really, really, really good about porta-johns, like almost overdoing it good. There's so many porta-johns. I noticed this the last time I raced. There was I got there more than an hour, about an hour in advance, nobody in line. And then even like 10-15 minutes before the start, when we were walking to the corrals, we walked by the restrooms and just stopped again, because literally just you could walk into any one. There was no lines. That's how many restrooms there were. Truthfully, anytime I don't have to wait in line to use the bathroom before a race, it's a good race. Like that automatically gets primo. You know, bonus points today because it was supposed to rain and it held off, which was great. So the weather was actually, for me, it was perfect. I was really concerned. It pretty much monsooned at last year's race and it sounded terrible. So I kind of dodged that bullet, but this year it was perfect. The course is pretty much the same. Even over the years when they've slightly changed the start finish area, they've just kind of rotated the course a little bit, but effectively the whole route is kind of the same. Just the mileage points kind of hit differently. Hilly, of course, it's Atlanta. I shouldn't have to say this, but if you're coming from outside Atlanta, you should know it's hilly. But for me, it was great. I felt strong. I just kind of enjoyed it. I walked through the water stops. I actually ate the snacks. I had the marshmallows. I had the dark chocolate chips. Like, why the hell not? Like, I knew it'd be okay. Worst case scenario, I can use one of the other abundance of porta-johns that were like every rest stop, so why the hell not? I didn't need either, but so I just kind of enjoyed it. Also the fact that they serve Noon on course as their electrolyte instead of some of the other really, really sugary sports drinks. Man, again, you are automatically making me happy there. I mean, it's just super classy. It's very, to me, it's like above par. It's a great product, and I'm so glad any race I see that serves them. And then I'm trying to think what else. The finish line, typical, you kind of go through pretty quick. They have tons of lines for you to be able to get your little bowl, which is currently in the wash, sorry. Get your bowl with your chocolate, hot chocolate. So I downed the hot chocolate. I ate a little bit of the dipping chocolate with some bits, but by that point, you know, I was getting cold. I did have a drop bag with like a dry, I put my race hoodie, which now is also in the wash, in my drop bag. So I was able to put that on after the race with a windbreaker, some dry gloves, shoved all my wet stuff kind of in the bag, walked around for a couple minutes, saw a couple people, and then hopped on the bike share and rode my bike home in all of 15 minutes, which was so cool. Like, this is one of the other reasons I probably will continue running this race, is because I can literally like roll out of bed, get on a bike, and get there in 15 minutes, and it's so easy. So I highly recommend it. I would be curious to try one of the other races. I did consider doing the Nashville race, but oddly it's planned the same weekend, which it was Saturday, so I guess technically I could have drove to Nashville, done that one, drove home after the race, and then done Atlanta today. But I don't know why I would have done that. So I would like if it was just on a different weekend. It's weird to meet at 2 races under the same umbrella in the same region or on the same weekend. I feel like they kind of divide people by doing that. Whereas if they split them up different weekends, you might be able to kind of cross market a little better. So that would be kind of my one thing. And so I would like to try maybe one of the other races in the future. But again, by doing this every year, I kind of have a goal I can kind of hit. I've PR'd every year. I'm not sure how much longer I could keep that up. I wanted to do sub hour 35 this year, and I did hour 32, which means I probably have to go for a goal of sub hour 30 next year. At some point, this is gonna really bite me in the butt, but such is life. I mean, you gotta have goals, right? As long as you're still having fun. So that's kind of my general impression. Again, kind of a themed race hater, but I still go because it's chocolate, and I will definitely run for chocolate. Until next time, bye.